Hey everybody, it's Doc Green, the Road Scholar, coming at you again. Parked here on the yard out in Irving at US Express. Parked, want to make sure that's clear. Parked, not driving. Nope, not moving at all. One of our drivers, I guess, got fired not too long ago because he was driving, and I guess he was recording himself while he was driving, and he didn't have a seatbelt on. And now, of course, he claims that, that they fired him because of his YouTube channel. They may, I don't know. I wasn't in on that, but I just want to make sure they want those. I'm not driving. Seatbelt's not on. Just sitting in the truck. Truck's not running. Nothing like that. So, clear myself on that. I hear, and I get this at every company that I've ever worked at. And I've had some great, matter of fact, I've only had one bad experience at a company, and it really wasn't their fault or my fault. It was a miscommunication between me and the company, and I got charged for a pallet jack when I left them that I shouldn't have had to pay for because it was on the trailer when I left. I guess someone else picked up the trailer and took it, but that was my fault. I say it was my fault. I did let them know the pallet jack was on there. I guess the person I let know was the wrong person, and they didn't get it off. Anyway, big deal. No big deal. It was like 20 years ago. I've had some offhand experiences at some other companies. I worked for some startup companies. One of them was a Merrifield out in the oil fields, and they had some growing pains and stuff, and they couldn't get us paid on time sometimes. Now I hear a lot of drivers back there with the Merrifield and everything talk about they never got this and they never got that, and they never got their last paychecks, and they never got their lease purchase money back or whatever, deposit or whatever. I didn't have that problem. I'll be honest with you. I talked to them, and they gave me my money in the time required, and they didn't pay me on time sometimes when I was working for them. It upset me a little bit at the time, but that's because I had in my mind what I wanted to do that day, and the company was going through some growing pains. No big deal. I have nothing against Merrifield. I have nothing against any. Matter of fact, I don't think I have anything against any company I've worked for. A lot of people say, well, the big companies don't care about the drivers. Yeah, the big companies care about the drivers, but big companies are what I call a turn door or turnstile companies. That's where they bring in a lot of drivers. They'll bring in thousands of drivers a year, and thousands of drivers will quit. Hundreds of drivers will quit during the year. Some stay with them 6 months, some stay with them years, and then some stay with them 20 years. Here's what I've always noticed: when someone gets terminated, how can I put this? When you're working for a big company and you're doing your job and everything, and you feel like you haven't done anything wrong, but the company's constantly showing you things that they are saying you are doing wrong, take your lumps. Learn. Don't keep making the same mistakes. But I've seen some guys get out here and they quit a company and they leave a company and they want to talk bad about the company. I'm not really good with that. And, I've left some companies where I was mad the day I left or something, about something that happened. I just got overworked. Usually it's burnout on me. I'll be honest with you. It's usually just burnout on me. I'll get up and leave, quit, whatever. I always take the truck back. I always take and I clean it out. They didn't give it to me in crappy condition. I'm not going to give it back to them dirty and everything. So I clean out my trucks, make sure they're all clean before I turn them back in the best I can. But I'm upset with them sometimes, and I leave and everything. But, after a couple of days, burnout wears off. I'm back home. I got a little time off. I'm good to go. But here's what I want to tell you guys. I have never personally seen a company fire someone for an undeserving reason. I haven't. And some people, like this one guy, he did a video, and he says, oh, they fired me because of my YouTube channel. Actually, I hear that a lot on YouTube truckers, doing their channels and stuff. Yeah, I kind of get it. I mean, and I don't know, because I don't know why people think this is my private channel and I can say what I want to on there. Yes, you can. But it's just like when you're working for any other corporation or anyone else. They can tell you. I don't know if US Express has it in theirs. I don't know. I don't personally talk bad about companies I work for. I try not to. I may talk about the problems we're having on certain situations, and usually the companies are working on it. But anyway, they do have if it's part of their policy that you can't post things about them on the YouTube channel, and you do, and you get fired, that's kind of on you, bro. You got fired. If you're having that many problems with your company, and oh, they're doing this to me and they're doing that to me. And usually what I was finding out talking to them and figuring out, and you know, I've been out here driving for over 20 years, is it's usually not the bigger companies. Now, do the big companies pay me as well as I want to? No, they don't. I think I should be getting more per mile and everything, but I agreed to work for them for that amount of money. Now, I will say that there are times when drivers, when they first get started, everyone's gung ho. Oh yeah, this company's, yeah, we're going to see, but yeah, I'm doing, I'm going to work for them and do this, do that. And a lot of guys will put in, and I've talked about this in another video where some guys try to cheat their logs. Like you get to a place you're supposed to unload and you don't mark on duty and everything. You try to get that first few hours, free off your log and everything. And you can do that for a while, but sooner or later you're going to get tired of it. You're going to get burned out. And when you do, then you're going to start saying, oh man, they work us too hard. No, you let them work you too hard by not logging on hours that you were actually working. They go, well, if I do that, then I'm not making enough money. Well, then you need to go somewhere else. I mean, that's the way, I don't know how else to put it. I'm not going to work for free. I'm just not going to do it. So you're not going to have me getting on, putting on, when I get up in the mornings and unload the trailer and then putting on duty once I get ready to leave the place and do about 15 minutes. I've been working for 3 hours unloading the trailer. No, that's not free. And then some people go, well, and I get complaints sometimes like, well, you're not delivering enough loads. Well, I'm doing it legally, and I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I'm not working when I am. If I'm not making enough money doing my 70 hours, then I need to go somewhere else, but there's so many drivers doing it that the company looks at the logs and everything, goes, well, no, this is how much money they make. This is pretty good money. So, they rate it out that way. I'll never get that, why drivers screw themselves over. But anyway, they do. And then they get mad at the company a few months later after they start getting burned out because they've been working so dang hard and everything. And after, they get tired of trying to cheat the log and everything, and they go back to making what they're supposed to be, like 800, 900, 1,000 a week instead of 12, 1,500 a week. And then they want to blame the company. Oh, the company's messing me over. No, you messed yourself over in the beginning. And then you got upset because you thought you could always continue making that money. And then when you got tired and wore out and everything and quit giving them extra hours for free that you gave them in the beginning, then you want to blame them. That's wrong. You can't blame the company on that. I'm going to be honest with you. Working out here as a company driver, you can make a decent living. You can make $1,200, $1,500 a week running legal, getting your rest, getting your time off, whatever, $1,200, $1,500 a week take home. And when I say that, I mean $1,200 or $1,500 take home after I pay my insurance, my health insurance, my dental insurance, life insurance, all the things that I bought, all the extra benefits that I bought into when I got on with the company, because that's what I went back company for, is the benefits. And then a lot of people go, oh, well, their benefits ain't crap. Man, I got news for you. US Express has some of the best benefits I've seen out here. Why their reputation is so low among drivers is, I think, one, they don't advertise to the right type of driver. And number two, I don't know, their recruiter didn't lie to me. When I called him up, he was straight up honest with me. I don't know if it's because I already told him I had 20 years experience. He didn't see any reason to lie to me or whatever. But US Express has been a great company for me to work for. Like I said, am I going to retire here? No. Not unless I do a lease purchase and stay on with them after that or something in a few years. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not to that point yet. But I do know I'm not leaving them for the next 3.5, 4 years because, 3.5 years because my son is getting college. My daughter is getting college. I am getting college for free with US Express. So, that savings alone, you're talking about $10,000 a year extra just on that. Then on top of that, they gave me a $12,000 bonus. They pay me at the beginning of every month, $1,000. People, well, they told us $1,000, and then after taxes, it's only like $600. Well, yeah. I mean, don't get back at US Express because of Uncle Sam. But anyway, the benefits is one of the best benefits packages I've seen out here. And I've seen a lot. I've talked to a lot of other companies and everything, and US Express, you can't compete with it. Then drivers get upset because they come on the yard and they're looking for trailers. There's no empty trailers here. There's no this. There's no... Dude, that's just trucking. I'm sorry. I don't care what company you go to work for. That's trucking. Unless you go and buy your own truck and trailer, you're going to be out here looking for trailers. That's just trucking. So, I don't know. I'm going to say that US Express, does it have its faults? I'm going to be honest. I really can't. I haven't seen any. I know a lot of guys say, oh, they lied to me. They told me I'd be doing this. They told me I'd be doing... this is trucking. And when the freight's out here, we're moving. The company doesn't want you sitting still. So you're going to be moving when you can move. They make money when you're rolling. So they're not intentionally trying to screw over anyone that I've seen, Now, does it work hard? Like when I'm on a Family Dollar account, I got to unload my trailer by hand and all this. Yeah, it's hard work, but it's what I signed up for. And when I first started, oh my God, it was hard. I was out of shape. I was this, that, the other. Now I'm doing all right, man. My foot hurt for a little while. I went to the doctor with my health benefits I had from US Express. They gave me some insoles. Man, I feel great now. I no problem. Well, they told me I'd be home on a certain date. Well, I'll be honest with you, US Express has gotten me home every time they say they would. I've never been stuck out. Now, I'd mismanaged my clock one time and got stuck out when I should have. But that's not US Express' fault. That's my fault. And then there was one time where I actually came to work, logged on my computer for 1 minute before I realized that I didn't have to work. And that started my 8 day, your 70 hour, 7 day, 8 day period. And that one messed me up. But again, that wasn't US Express's fault. That was Doc's fault. And, but guys, look, if you're going to be out here, you're going to be bad-mouthing the company you work for. If you don't like it that much, go somewhere else. I mean, this is America. You don't have to work for anyone. Well, I'm going to tell everyone how they did me. All right, but be honest. Tell them how you did them too. Like I got seen drivers out here. Oh, I'm not going to go. I'm going to go in when I want to go in. I'm doing this. Then I live to work, or I work to live. I don't live to work. I get it, but don't get an attitude with the company because the company's running on this computerized system and they don't understand your feelings, and your feelings get hurt, and then you're going to stay a badmouth the company, and then you're going to get surprised when the company calls you in and calls you to the carpet and fires you. Well, I mean, come on, man. You're out here ruining their reputation over something they're spending millions of dollars trying to operate. Yeah, I'd fire you too. I'm going to be honest with you. You come in here talking to my company, I'm going to fire you if I'm in the wrong. If I'm in the right, you're in the wrong. I had one company I talked bad about. Man, I was pissed. Talked bad about them on YouTube. Man, I mean, it was a row about, man. I mean, we were shutting that company down. But the company knew it had problems and literally did not fire me, which I really thought I was getting fired. They didn't fire me, though. They called me up because they realized that whenever all of our trucks started shutting down on them, because we weren't going to run anymore the way they wanted us to, and we just weren't going to do it. We'll park these trucks. We're not going to sit out here and work the way you want us to because you said to. It was the closest we ever came to forming a union since I've been back in trucking, and we came close to actually unionizing on them. But the company came down. The owner of the company literally came down and talked to me, met with me and some other drivers and everything, explained the situation. They were having some growing pains and everything, and we understood. We all worked it out. It was good. We were all good to go. We all worked together, and it took us a few weeks to get everything back in line, but we all got back in there, and they didn't fire me over it. But then again, they realized I wasn't lying on them. I was telling them a problem they had, and it had gotten so bad that drivers... Here's the thing. Drivers were fixed to quit and leave. And I mean about half the company, which would have destroyed that company. Instead, I talked to the other drivers and everything, and we decided instead of leaving, because we really liked the work. When they did us right, when we first got there, it was great. A lot of them didn't want to leave, but they had no choice. So we did in order to get, because there was a miscommunication between our branch and the headquarters, the corporate. They were lying. Our branch was lying to corporate and lying to us. So after we finally got talked to the owner, and he figured out what the problem was, because he couldn't figure out why so many drivers would just start shutting trucks down. We got, they came down and talked to us. They were like, whoa, we didn't realize. And I really, honest to God, believe he didn't know what was happening. Because things got better right after that. But if you're going to sit here and... I was fully prepared to get fired. I knew if they would have fired me, I understood why, and I really wasn't going to be mad at them for it, because we did shut the company down for about 8 or 9 hours before they realized what was happening, and corporate got involved. And they straightened out a lot of their stuff. They straightened out a lot of the problems they had with the terminal and everything, and a lot of the miscommunications and everything else with their dispatchers and everything else. A lot of people got fired that day. No drivers got fired. US Express, I haven't had a problem with them. I had to take off time because I twisted my foot and everything for something I did stupidly while I was climbing out of a trailer. But I just took a couple of, about a week or two off. The doctor gave me that insole, figured out it wasn't just stepping out of the trailer. I exasperated something that was hurting already, but they got it fixed, and I'm back out here, man. U.S. Express didn't fire me. They didn't get on to me about it. They didn't try to get rid of me. Matter of fact, when I called them back, said I was ready to go to work. Welcome back, Doc. Here's a new truck. See ya. Go. I had my dispatch ready. I was rolling. Some drivers say, well, they worked me to death. No, you work yourself to death. Work your 70. Log on. Because I'm telling you one thing about U.S. Express is that safety. That safety department, they ain't playing. And if you're one of your fleet manager, somebody tries to get you to do something that you're not supposed to be doing, you call safety, and safety will straighten that out, and you will have no repercussions. They'll get rid of that fleet manager before they get rid of you if it's a safety violation. I'm telling you now. They do not play about safety at this company. So I don't know why so many drivers always want to complain about the company they're leaving. Look, the truth, be honest. And you usually can tell by watching the videos if they're still upset about it a week later and they're still talking, they did me, they're all liars and they're all this and they're all. Then you go back and you watch the videos from about 3 months ago, 3 weeks ago or something, and they weren't in that kind of mood. Chances are they either got burned out or they did something. That's just the way I've noticed it. And when I leave this company, go to another company, or if I stay here, whatever, anytime I've left a company, even Amerifield, which is one where they had growing problems and everything, I tried to leave on good terms. The truth is, I finally, after everything that happened to Amerifield, they finally got everything straightened out and everything, I was burned out. So I went home. And my son was graduating, and it had nothing to do with them. And people, when I posted my next video about why I quit Amerifield, so many people popped in on that waiting to hear what I had to say bad about Amerifield, and I had nothing bad to say about them. And when I leave U.S. Express, I'm telling you, by the way they're working and the way I'm running, the way they're running me, and the things I'm doing, if you hear a bad video about me from them, come back and check about 3 days later. Chances are I'm upset, I got pissed off, and I said something bad about them, in the heat of the moment, and when I quit or something. But the chances are I would have go home, think about it, and realize it really wasn't U.S. Express. It really wasn't Amerifield the reason I quit them. It really wasn't. I had this other company I worked for almost 15 years, a company called ABI, Asset Based Intermodal in Dallas. Best boss I could ever have. Did me and him have issues and yell at each other at times? Oh, yeah, we did, Me and some of the dispatchers yelled at each other and everything, but, that was more of a home, family type company, and, you come back a couple hours later and shake hands and, dude, I'm sorry, I was just upset and whatever, and go on about our business. And that's the way every company I've quit. I left JB Hunt, not because JB Hunt was a bad company. I just didn't want to run the way they wanted me to run. So it wasn't them. It was just me. So I left. And then you got some other drivers out here that, as soon as they get done with the company, this company done this, and this company done that. No, man, come on. Go back and look at their videos in the past. If they didn't have any complaints in the past, chances are it's not the company. U.S. Express, I'll be honest with you, I can't say anything bad about them. And these guys that are on here talking crap about them and how they screwed them over on a lease and this and that and the other. Most time I see people get screwed over on leases, if you get down into it, they didn't know what they were doing. I'm sorry. And if I get some of you guys back on here from U.S. Express talking about, no, what do you know? You wasn't in an unlayered lease program. You don't know how they are. I've been in lease programs before. And I've seen how drivers don't do what they're supposed to do in order to make the money on a lease purchase. And you can go back and see my videos on how to make money on lease purchase and stuff. You can make it. Be prepared. You're going to work your butt off if you're doing a lease purchase. That's just the way it is till you get that truck paid for. But most of the time, drivers on lease purchase that get upset and everything is because they're not planning it right. They didn't have the experience. They didn't have the knowledge. So I've been driving trucks for 20 years. Doesn't mean you know how to run a business. And if you don't know how to run a business, you're in a lease purchase program, you're in bad shape. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. You got to learn this business. You got to learn trucking. You got to learn about maintenance. You have to learn about fuel economy. You have a lot of things you have to learn about. So my thing basically is, and you'll hear some people, don't walk away. Lease purchase is way too expensive. Yes, it is. But most of the time, they're giving people with bad credit a chance to own their truck. They charge you a lot more than the truck is worth sometimes, or the payments are higher than you pay if you had good credit. Guess what? That's the cost of not having good credit. That's not the cost of not taking care of your personal business well enough to go get your own truck. And here's my thing. If you see someone on a lease purchase program and they're complaining about it, why are you on a lease purchase program? Why didn't you go out and buy your own truck? Because somewhere along the lines, you most likely messed up your credit and you went and got a lease purchase program, which is telling me you did not know how to run your personal business. Then why does anyone think you know how to run a trucking business? And people go, Doc, well, you were on lease purchase. You're right. I knew how. I messed up my personal credit. I knew that. I learned from that. I got into a lease purchase program because my credit was messed up and they offered me a truck. Was I paying more for the truck than it was worth? Yes. But I was also making a hell of a lot more money than I was as a company driver. You know, and I learned, and I used my experience, and I tell people on my very first video, I will teach you what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right, and everything else, so that in the end, you can come back and you can figure out, you know, learn from my mistakes. So my advice to everyone listening to all these drivers talk about, and a lot of guys, you know, they just do it for humor. You know, like you watch some of these drivers get mad and how they act. That's cool. I do too. I laugh at them. But go watch the videos for the last few months. If they didn't have complaints for the last 3 months, all of a sudden in the last 30 days they start having complaints, chances are it's not the company. And if you were with the company for more than 6 to 8 months and you had a problem the entire time you were with them, then you were stupid for staying with them for 6 to 8 months in the first place. Anyway, that's it for this video, and I'm going to come back in a little bit to do another video about some other stuff, but I just had to get this off. Truckers going crazy over lease purchase or going crazy over big companies and putting stupid stuff out on the YouTube channels and then wondering why you got fired. Stupid.